Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with the CEO of DP Consulting and sales coach, Darleen Priday. She has over 25 years of experience in sales and business development. For the last 8 years, her primary focus has been entrepreneurs and business coaches. She loves helping entrepreneurs and small businesses get the right support to scale their business. She has a unique approach to business development. Empathetic selling and relationship building are the cores of who she really is. Enjoy this interview.
Well, hey, it's great to meet you, and what I would like to do to start everything off is to ask you kind of, the past 3 years, we've gone through quite a thing with COVID, and I'm curious, how did you survive that time period, and now that things are opening up, how has it changed the way that you live your life and approach business now?
Sure. So, just so you know, like I've worked for a virtual company this whole time. So it really, if anything, it catapulted. So I have twofold. I work for Petrie Versatile Assistants as a director of business development. And I had worked for another company, in that same virtual staffing place. So if anything, when that hit, our business catapulted because now everybody was scrambling to work remotely and get on the cloud and do all those things, even for brick and mortar companies that were nervous about even trying us before that. Now they had no choice because they didn't know how to work virtually. So that really exploded that part. So I can focus on the virtual staffing piece of it if you'd like.
Yeah, no, I think that gives me an idea. And that's kind of what I was going after was, just how you navigated through it. Because for some people, there was a lot of things that changed. For other people, it just kind of increased what they were already doing. Kind of just like Zoom, for instance. It did nothing but catapult what they were doing because they were already doing that business to begin with. So that makes total sense. So to get to the essence of what you do and who you are, I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of kindergartners, like third graders, at a career day at a grade school. One of the kids looks up at you and says, "What do you do for a living?" How would you explain that?
Yeah, so I would say what I do for a living is I get to listen to people that have problems in their business, and I try to problem solve for them. Whether I can help them or whether I can point them in the right direction, I actively listen to them and give them resources to help them continue to grow their business.
So I guess it's like anything else. At the end of the day, the reality is that sometimes people are so close to what they're doing, they can't see the macro. Is that kind of the function that you, as an expert in business, is that kind of what you do, is you just take an existing look at what they can't probably see?
Yes, it's like a bird's eye view of looking. And as you mentioned, people are so close to what they do that we all fill in the blanks, right? So our mind fills in the blanks because we know what our business does or who we serve. So when we're looking at a website or when we're looking at copy or whatever that may be, it's very clear to us. And then somebody looking on the outside is like, that makes no sense. We use vernacular or terminology that we're so familiar with that the public does not. So I do a bird's eye view and look at everything as a whole to show them where there may be gaps, what is in alignment, like understand their why, what they're looking for, and see if everything is in alignment following that why and pointing out where they can improve those processes.
So let's go back to your childhood. Talk to me a little bit about, where you were born and raised and kind of how some of these seeds were planted in you to get into business and to get more specifically into your role right now.
Yeah, so I was raised in New Jersey, and I actually started my career in fashion. So when I was young, I had a grandmother that I looked up to. She was a working woman and would go into New York City as a executive secretary back in the day, and my mom was a stay-at-home mother, and then when I was 11, my mother and father divorced, and my mother, who really didn't have an education, she never worked, she was a stay-at-home mom, had to go into the workforce. So then she started taking college classes while working, while raising 3 kids, and through that, I saw the value of education and also having a career and an identity for yourself. And I've been married 31 years, so it's, I've had a husband this whole time, but it's nice to also be able to contribute to the household and be able to have your own identity outside of a marriage and as a mother and that type of thing.
So who's been kind of a role model or a hero for you in your life?
Yeah, so my grandmother, she is 100 years old. She's a feisty Italian lady from New York, and she was raised with Italian immigrant parents. She was raised very poor, and she just always, she had grit and determination. She operates out of a spirit of generosity. So no matter what she had, even if it was a little, she would share with others or help other people constantly. So I saw that growing up. I see that now. Like I said, she's 100 years old. She still crochets blankets for our veterans. She still writes letters of encouragement, and she's involved in, like, she'll write letters to politics when she doesn't like what they're doing and all of that type of stuff. So no matter how old she was, from the time she was young, she was always active, involved, and trying to make a difference in every area of her life that she could.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So if you could meet anybody alive right now on the planet, spend a little time with them, who would it be? Who would you love to meet?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I would like to meet somebody who's not known, like somebody from a remote part of the country, like maybe in the African jungle, if communication wasn't a different thing. And just because I've seen in my lifetime people that just live so differently than I do, and they just have a wealth of joy and in doing things that are so much different. So I would love to be able to see what brings them joy, what matters to them in someone who is just completely different than the way that I live or operate.
Every day you wake up, you have things that are on your plate to do, things that you're looking forward to. What's your motivator? What gets you through the day? What is it that, you look forward to in a typical day?
Yeah, well, I mean, I try to make a difference in people's lives. I love to help people. That's really the core of who I am, and I love to build relationships. Since 2021, my husband went through some serious health issues with his heart and suffered strokes and different things like that. And I see how fragile life is. Like, thankfully, he's still with us, but our life has completely changed. So, I know that going through that, some people didn't know what I was going through, but the kindness of a stranger or someone who went above and beyond, even just to get me information that I needed or whatever, made a huge impact in my life. So I try to operate with that spirit of generosity and really giving people some empathy, even if I don't know what they're going through, because I know those small things make huge differences.
So let's take this to the end of the day. When you get to the end of the proverbial day and look back, how do you quantify a good day? How do you look and say that worked?
Yeah, so I love championing for people. I love hearing success stories. So a good day for me would be hearing from a client that has, made a big difference or hit some of their goals, even if it's not financial goals, whatever goals they have, that they really are growing their business or they're overcoming some of the obstacles that were in their way. So I love hearing success stories, and I love championing for people. So a good day is when I can have a small little impact and help those people succeed.
You know, when we grow up, we have these little moments, whether it's with a book or a movie or, you know, maybe even an album. What was that moment for you? What was the book or maybe a movie or something artistically driven growing up that really inspired you and maybe you revisit to this day?
Yeah, well, growing up, I loved The Wizard of Oz. I just love The Wizard of Oz. Like, when everything went from black and white to that rainbow and, like, it was just, that's what I like to do. I like to live in color, right? Just experience everything. When things are drab, when things are just mundane, it can just feel oppressive, right? But then in the blink of an eye, like, there could be that just beautiful technicolor all around us. And I think it's there for us to see. I think it's sometimes difficult to recognize.
So what's been one of the best pieces of client feedback, best fan letter you've ever gotten?
I have this, it's funny because I have this woman that I've never done business with. She literally calls me maybe once a year, once every 18 months for the past 5 years. And she'll call and I'll troubleshoot with her and have her, talk her off a ledge or whatever it may be, and then she'll say, okay, I'll give you a call soon. I'm going to use you soon, and then it'll be another 18 months. But the last time I spoke to her, she ended it by saying, thank you. You're my friend, and I can really count on you. And it just touched my heart because it's somebody who I probably never worked with, but she really considers me her friend, and she finds value in what I'm telling her. That's
wonderful. So everyone out there has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your clients, but ultimately you live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Sure. So I think I'm a creative. I think I'm an ADHD at times. I do have that true entrepreneurial spirit where I'm a quick start and things are exciting. And then when I get in the minutia, I kind of get bored with it. But I do find myself, like I said, I'm a champion of people. I am a kind person. I'm a little tough. From the outside, I'm a little bit tougher. But, and I have a lot of grit and persistence. But at the core of who I am, I really enjoy helping people and caring about people.
Darleen, if anyone wants to learn more about you, your company, your services, consulting, coaching, where can they go? Where's the best place for them to learn more and hire you?
Sure. So they can go to LinkedIn, Darleen Priday, and my name is Darleen, and last name Priday. Or they can also, if they're looking for a virtual assistant, they can go to peachtreva.com. But again, if they want to just go to my LinkedIn, I'm happy to have a conversation with them, see where they're stuck in their business, and I have a lot of solutions to offer them.
Excellent. This has been wonderful, Darleen. Thank you for opening up. Good luck with everything. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.